Hey folks, my name is Emily and this is another episode of 108 Stitches, which is a primarily knitting video podcast with a little bit of baseball, hence the name 108 Stitches. That's the number of stitches in a baseball. And maybe a little bit about other crafty things that I may be up to, sewing and mostly probably just sewing. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as at Emweecurt, EMWEECURT, and I will try to put that on the screen now and also down in the description box, as I will try to do for everything that I talk about in this episode today. I am coming to you live, well, I guess not live, but recorded from Seattle, Washington, where I live with my husband Nofis and our pup Norman. And I just wanted to start out by saying thank you so much to everyone who entered the 500 subscriber giveaway on my last episode. I have really loved reading through all of your comments. It just makes me really excited about what you all are hoping for from this YouTube channel, and it gave me lots and lots of ideas that I'm hoping that I can bring to you sometime soonish, so we'll see. Stay tuned for maybe some videos outside of the normal video podcast episodes. So thank you so much. I've loved reading through them. And just a reminder, if you haven't already entered, that you still can for another week. So I don't know if I could link to my previous episode in the YouTube video. I may try to do that, but if not, you can just go to my channel and you can find it. It's my last episode, episode 8, I believe. And all the information about how to enter is on there. If you just, all you have to do is go and just write a comment on that post, and you'll be entered to win a skein of socks that rock lightweight in the colorway Hobbit Garden, and then also a handmade bento bag that I sewed myself. So make sure that you go check that out and get yourself entered to win. I will be closing that next week, next Sunday, November 22nd. So thank you all so much, and yeah, thank you for watching and for engaging and for entering the giveaway and for subscribing and for all of that. So I wanted to go ahead and record an episode this week. It may be a little bit shorter, not because I haven't been knitting, but just because I've been knitting primarily on the same couple projects, so I don't have tons to go through. But I did want to just go ahead and record and let you all know what I've been up to and how my knitting has been going and everything. So I guess I'll just go ahead and jump in. So first things first, my finished objects. Let's see here. I had both of these, and I don't know where the second one is now. Where did it go? Oh, it fell on the ground. Okay, sorry about that. So my finished object is my the socks that I knit for my grandma. So I showed these in the last 1 or 2 episodes, I believe. So here they are. I had last week, I believe I had the first one finished, and I was partway through the second one. So pretty early this week, I finished the second sock. This is the Hermione's Everyday Socks pattern by Leuder, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's very popular pattern, so you've probably heard of it before, and if you haven't, you should definitely check it out. It's a very simple texture stitch, just like a knit and purl texture stitch, which makes this really nice fabric. I knit this using Explorer Knits Denali sock in the Flinders Ranges National Park colorway, which is a special colorway that Allie did to benefit the relief of the Australia wildfires earlier this year. So I bought it as part of that. She donated 50%, I believe, of her proceeds to relief for the Australia wildfires. So I really like this color. You can see here it's like purpley and green primarily, with little bits of, yeah, there we go, little bits of like orange And there's some even like really bright pink flecks that you can see somewhere in here. I don't know if you can see any of them, but I really like it. This is my first Explorer Knits. Oh, maybe it will focus on me. There we go. This is my first ever Explorer Knits yarn to knit with. I do have some more in my stash. I have a sweater quantity of her DK base in the Duomo colorway from her Italy collection, which is like this really soft, creamy, neutral type color that has some like pink and green and blue in it. I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping to knit the Water Bearer sweater by Jacqueline Cieslak with that yarn. I'm not sure quite when I will get to that. I have lots of sweaters planned in my queue, but that one will hopefully come up next year. I'll be knitting that sweater. But anyway, yeah, so I finished these socks for my grandma. I have not blocked them or woven in the ends yet, but I will do that some point soon, and then I will mail them to her for her birthday, which is later this month. I cast on 60 stitches for these socks, and I knit them on US 1.5s, which is my standard for socks, and I, as always, knit them on my 9-inch circular needles. So that is my only finished object for the week. I do have a half finished object that I want to share with you. Oh gosh, I don't think I could love this more. So I mentioned this, I think maybe a couple episodes ago. I talked about the Christmas yarn that I got and how I was excited about participating in Amy Florence of the Stranded podcast and Stranded Dye Works. She does a festive sock along every year, and so this year I wanted to participate, and I got some yarn from Nomadic yarns. So some of you may remember seeing this, but this is my first ball of self-striping yarn that I got from Nomadic yarns. The colorway, I believe, is called Christmas Past, and I just love it. Each of the colors in here is just so gorgeous. But I knit my first sock with it, so I could not put this down. Seriously, folks, the self-striping, like, you know, people have always told me that it's like very potato chippy, right? And that like once you start knitting it, you can't stop. You like always want the next stripe. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know that it'll be that much different than knitting other socks, y'all. I could not put it down. I just wanted to get to the next stripe and get to the next stripe, but I'm really, really happy with this. Was a very quick knit for me. I did the heels, toes, and cuffs in some leftover yarn that I had. I believe this is Madeline Tosh in the Tart colorway, which is one of my very favorite colors of all time. I love this dark red color. As you probably can tell, my sweater is dark red. My favorite sweater that I've talked about in the past is my Dock Light sweater that I also knit in that dark red color. I knit a lot with this dark red, and I love it. And I think Madeline Tosh, their Tart colorway, is one of my very favorites of that dark red. But anyway, I thought it matched the red stripe in the self-striping sock yarn pretty well. So I'll try to get a little bit close up here. I just did a normal vanilla sock. I cast on 52 stitches actually, which seems like not very many, but my socks were just a little bit big, so I decided to cast on 52, and it turned out really good. My feet and legs are very skinny, so I think this sizing worked out really well for me. So I did that again on my 9-inch circulars, US 1.5. I cast on 52 stitches. I just did a 1x1 rib for 10 rows at the top, and then I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I like to do when I'm doing contrasting heels. I just like the way the Fish Lips Kiss heel looks rather than a heel flap and gusset. I think it looks good. So yeah, that's all I have for that. And again, this is part of Amy Florence's Festive Sock Along. You can follow along. I think she is running it both on Instagram and on her Ravelry page. So you can go to her Ravelry group and check it out. And if you want to participate, you can post your socks there. You can also use the hashtag Festive Sock Along 2020 on Instagram, and I think you can enter it that way as well. So hopefully once I finish my second sock, I will start posting those so that I can get entered. And I have some other Christmas socks planned as well. So that is my half-finished object. And then really, honestly, all of my other knitting time has been focused on one project. So about maybe halfway through last week, I received I think I talked about this in my last episode, but I received my yarn to start working on a test knit. This is my second ever test knit and my first ever sweater test knit. I'm very excited about it, but I am knitting the Oversized Seasons cardigan, which is a test knit for Haley of Ozetta. I think I definitely said that wrong last week, but I will, yeah, it's Ozetta. I don't know how to say that, but that is at least the right word. Yeah, so it's just a really nice, oversized, really squishy cardigan knit out of a worsted weight yarn. It is in a half fisherman's rib stitch, so like a half brioche stitch, if you're familiar with that. And I was really excited to be test knitting this, so I started this about halfway through the week, and I just finished, well, I don't know if I just finished it, but I finished the yoke, like the raglan, and I split for the sleeves, and had done a little bit underneath the sleeve split. The construction of this is actually really unique, the way that you kind of like knit the button band while you're doing the rest of the sweater, rather than like picking up stitches and doing it separately. But I have really liked it so far. Yeah, and this yarn is, I think I talked about it last time as well, but this is Peace Fleece worsted. Peace Fleece, I believe they have two bases. They have a worsted base and a DK base, and this is the worsted base. It is a blend of 75% Rambouillet wool and 25% mohair. And I'm really happy with it. What I have read, it sounds like it softens up a lot when you wash it. And even Peace Fleece on their website, they said that they often just like toss it in the washing machine, which makes me a little nervous, but I guess if they're saying that that's what they do, then I trust them. So we'll see. It's a little, I mean, of course, I don't know, you can probably tell by looking at it, it's like a little bit stiff and a little bit more of like a rustic type yarn. Actually, this is really funny. If you remember from earlier in my podcasting days, I think I talked a little bit about how Noffice often gives my projects names after foods. So most of the time it's based on their color. So like he had my porridge sweater and like bubblegum socks and that kind of thing, just based on the color of the yarn. This one he decided to call my beef sweater. And the reason for that is just because of like the texture of the yarn. He was saying that it's really tough. And that it's, I guess, just because it's a little more rustic. And so he, this is my beef sweater now, I guess, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, it's knitting up really fast because it's worsted weight. And so we'll see how quickly I can get this done by. But I'm really enjoying it so far and can't wait to have it done so that I can wear it. I think it's going to be really cozy and nice for cold days. Norman, Norman is up here and wants to visit. Do you want to come up and say hi? Do you want to come say hi? Come here. Oh my goodness. That was a common thread in the giveaway post comments as well. A lot of people wanted to see more Norman, so here he is. He's looking outside. Do you want to say hi? Yes. Good morning. Thank you for the kisses. He is definitely a kisser. Okay, I have to keep going now. Are you going to sit in my lap? No. Okay, buddy. Yeah, so that is my last work in progress. That's really all I've been working on. I have a couple of other active projects that didn't get any love this week just because I'm really motivated to finish my test knit. So once this is done, I'll be returning to the sweater that I'm knitting for an office, and that is the Montrealer. If you remember, it's just like a gray hoodie type sweater, like a pullover. And I'm close to being done on the body of that, but we'll see. Once I finish this, I'll go back to that. And then also my poet shawl didn't get any action this week either. Oh, Norm's gone. Which is a shawl pattern by Sorry Nordland that matches this like lovely lace pattern. I knit the poet socks, if you remember, and she has several patterns in this series, and I'm knitting the shawl as well just because I love that stitch pattern so much. So those didn't get any love, but well, hopefully I will go back and revisit once I'm done with this sweater, and also the my Christmas socks as well. So that is all the knitting I have. I do not have any acquisitions this week. I did just order, so I ordered a skein, or actually a sock set from Woolberry Fiber Company, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my post about this. So Woolberry had their like holiday collection update, I think it was on Thursday, and I got on to try to buy this really gorgeous sock set just a little bit after they had gone live, and the sock set was already sold out. So I should have been on there right. Should have been there right at 6 my time was when the shop update went live, but I wasn't on there right on time. My brother had a jazz band concert that I was watching. It was like live streamed. My brother attends the University of Oklahoma. He is back in Norman, where I grew up. So I was not attending it live, but he had a concert that they were live streaming and I was watching. And so after the concert ended, I went on to try to snap that sock set, and I didn't get it because it sold out really quick. So it's the North Pole sock set is what it was called, I believe, and it was just, the main skein was this gorgeous like minty green with like a little bit of like a pastel-y type blue, and then it had darker green and red flecks on it. It was just a gorgeous like Christmas wintry themed skein, and then it had the mini skein is like a nice Christmas red, and I really wanted to get it so that I could use it this year for my Christmas Eve cast on. So I missed out, and then they put more sock sets up the following morning, and I got on and I was ready to go like right when they went live, and I was just too slow. A lot of people wanted them, and I checked out with like in under a minute, and they were already all gone. So I missed it again, and then later in the day I saw that Bethany of Woolberry Fiber Company posted 5 more sock sets. She found a little bit more inventory, and she posted 5 more, and luckily I saw her post about it shortly after she had put those sock sets up, and I was finally able to snag one. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait for that to arrive. It won't be until like later in December, but I was really bummed when I thought I wasn't going to be able to get one. So the fact that I got one makes me really happy and excited. And then I also have 2 advent calendars on the way, I think. So I talked about this really early on, but I ordered an advent calendar from Grenouille, which if you are unfamiliar, is probably my very favorite dyer. I love every single color that she dyes. Steph of Grenouille does incredible work, and I love it. So I knew I had to get her advent calendar, so I have that one. It's shipped, and I'm really excited about it. I actually told Nafis that he was gonna have to hide it from me, And so he has agreed he's going to hide the advent calendar somewhere in the house, and then each day he's going to have to give me my like little bit of yarn, because I can't be trusted. I know I'm going to open it as soon as it comes in, and I don't want to do that. I do want to like open one each day because I really want to enjoy it. And then I also ordered a 7-day advent calendar from Stacy of Stress Knits, and I'm really excited about that one as well. So hopefully those will come, and I can't wait until December to start opening up yarn goodies every day. So yeah, no acquisitions that arrived, but I have some on the horizon that I'm really excited about. Love wintry yarn, so that should be really good. And I think that's really it for the yarn related knitting stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit about like, you know, what's going on in my life. Not a lot. It seems like this week has been pretty casual week. Not a lot going on for us. It is Sunday, so we made Sunday breakfast this morning, and we made a breakfast casserole. But the base of the breakfast casserole was actually biscuits. So we had biscuit dough that we put in the bottom of the pan, and then on top you put sausage and shredded cheese, and then like eggs on top, and then you bake it, and it turned out really good. I don't know, it was super easy, and I really enjoyed it. So would definitely recommend. I think I found that was silly. I almost said pattern. Recipe. I found the recipe online somewhere. I can try to link it down below if anyone's interested in checking that out. But it was very yummy, and I enjoyed it very much. The only other thing I wanted to mention was the new book that we're reading for my family book club. So I think I mentioned last time that we finished And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. And now we are reading The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein, which is a book about how the U.S. government contributed to housing inequality and housing discrimination for African American folks, which is just a really important book to be reading right now, considering the social equity movement going on in this country. And so we decided it was a great time to just take a break from our normal sci-fi fantasy books and just take some time to learn more. And so I'm really glad that we're reading this book. We just started it. I've only read a couple chapters so far, but it has been really good. It's a nonfiction book, and I've already learned a ton, so would definitely recommend checking that out. If you are interested, we'll be reading that for the next few weeks. Yeah, and that's all I have on the life front, so I guess I will just move into what is now going to become just like a general baseball Q&A session. So I got a couple questions on my last YouTube video and just on Instagram, where people have been sending me questions, and so I thought I would try to answer some of those here. Some of those are baseball related, some of them are not. But I just did want to start with some general baseball news. Really exciting, Kim Ng was just hired as the Marlins general manager, and she is the first ever female general manager, and the second ever Asian general manager, which is really, really exciting for her, and also just for the sport. Not only is she the first female general manager in the MLB, but also in all major male North American sports, so hockey, football, basketball, and baseball. She's the first ever female general manager, which is just really, really exciting. It seems like it's been a long time coming. It feels like it's about time. I have known and heard about and read about Kim Ng for what feels like forever. She's been an assistant general manager for the Dodgers, and I think also for the Yankees. Really, really incredibly qualified. She has a stellar resume. She absolutely deserves this, and I have no doubt that she will do an incredible job. If you're unfamiliar, the general manager is basically the person in a baseball organization who is in charge of the entire baseball part of the organization. So if you think about, like, the Mariners have a lot going on as far as like the business side of the organization, so like ticket sales and merchandising and marketing and you know, HR and tons of that. And then there's like just the baseball related part. So the players that we acquire and our player development system and our scouting system and all of that. So all of the baseball related people and decisions fall underneath the general manager. And this is the very first time that it is a woman. And it's huge news, very exciting. I was really excited to hear this news. It does feel like it, you know, should have happened sooner, but we're still really excited that it happened at all. And I just remember folks, when I told them that I was going to work in baseball, I remember people telling me that, you know, maybe I would be the first ever female general manager. And I just remember explicitly thinking and telling them at the time, I really hope not, and that I don't think I will be, just because there are women like Kim Ng who have been working in the game for so long and who are really, really qualified and dedicated and absolutely deserve this opportunity. And I guess when I say I hope not, what I mean to say is, first of all, I mean, I'm not super interested in being a general manager because it seems like a lot of work and stress, and I don't know if I could take that amount of stress. But also just because I, you know, am young and starting fresh in baseball, and I really, really hoped that there would be a woman general manager far before I was even close to in a position to be a general manager. So I'm really glad that that day has finally come. It's a very exciting day for baseball and for sports, and yeah, I can't wait to see what she does with the Marlins. Also fun that the Marlins are Nofis's favorite team, and they have the first female GM, so really exciting news. The only other stuff I wanted to cover were questions that you all asked me. So the first question I have written down here was from someone named Nafis Zaman, and he asked if my husband is cool, which is really interesting because my husband's name is Nafis. So interesting that, you know, this question asker has the same name as my husband, but I would say yes, I do think my husband is cool. Less cool for asking this question, but I did marry him, so I do think he's cool. Another question I got was from Ari about whether I think knit-alongs are races. So this is another question from someone I am familiar with. Yeah, my knitting group that I knit with, we every once in a while we will do a knit-along together, and there are some folks in the knitting group that consider the knit-alongs to be more like races to see who can finish first. I would say that I think it depends on the group that you're knitting with, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't consider, you know, trying to be one of the first ones to finish when I'm doing a knit-along. So I would say, yeah, somewhere in the middle, maybe a little bit. Another question I got from Texas Heather on Instagram was, what is my favorite baseball curse? And she referenced the Cubs curse. So honestly, I grew up a Cardinals fan, so the Cubs curse was one of my very favorites because it meant that the Cubs weren't winning the World Series for a long time, and of course, the Cubs and Cardinals are rivals, so, you know, anything that's keeping the Cubs from winning is a good thing in my book. But the Cubs curse is it's the curse of the Billy Goat, which lasted from 1945 and ended in 2016 when they won the World Series. And the only other curse type thing that I could think of that I have strong feelings about is the Mariners playoff drought. So again, I should mention this at the beginning or earlier, but I do work for the Seattle Mariners. I'm a baseball analyst for the Seattle Mariners, and they have the longest playoff drought in major North American sports. So it's a 19-year playoff drought. The last time they appeared in the playoffs was in 2001. And of course, it's not my favorite thing that they haven't made the playoffs for so long, but I am excited about the potential to kind of contribute and help the Mariners come back and make the playoffs in the hopefully near future. So that's one that I'm hoping ends soon. The other question I got, and I don't remember actually where this question was, so I'm sorry I didn't write down who asked it, but someone asked me about my my education history, so where I went to school. So yeah, I just thought I would answer that question. I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, and then I ended up going to, I got my bachelor's degree, so I went to undergrad at the University of Oklahoma in Norman, so I stayed in town, and I got my bachelor's degree in math, and I got a minor in computer science at that time as well. And then I moved to Seattle, primarily because my then boyfriend, Nofis, got a job at Microsoft in Seattle. And so I moved here and applied to grad school at the University of Washington. And luckily I was accepted into the Master's of Applied Mathematics program at the University of Washington, and I completed that program just before starting my job with the Mariners. So yeah, bachelor's in math, minor in computer science from the University of Oklahoma, and then master's in applied math from the University of Washington. So that is my educational history. Yeah, and I think that's all the questions that I had here. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to drop them below in the comments, or you can comment on my Instagram posts, or you can message me. Any questions you have, I can try to answer them if you are interested. And yeah, that is all I have today. So yeah, I hope you do lots of knitting and watch lots of baseball and have a great week. Thank you guys. Bye.